MJBulls is proud to produce the Raising Cannabis Capital podcast. Today's episode will begin after this brief message from our sponsor.
This ain't no desk job, but it's what you gotta do to scale up to this in a single growing season. It's how in Oregon alone, we grew and harvested the single largest crop of CBG in the world. Grit, tenacity, hell, whatever you want to call it. The crew at HempTown USA has it by the bucket load. Just getting our seeds in the ground back in spring and growing them till fall was nothing short of heroic. Propagation, planting, maintaining what we have, and building what we need. Trust me, this shit ain't easy. But when it comes to harvest time, our team bumps the bar up to a whole new level. Next comes processing. Everything but the top flower goes off to get turned into crude, distillate, isolate, and water-soluble ready. Our product, like our team, is nothing less than best in class. This plant has always had the power to change the world, but it needs people to make it happen. We're lucky to have those people right here at HempTown USA.
To never give up, because it's easy for an entrepreneur when things get tough just to move on to the next project. And as investors and shareholders on the cap table, we need to be confident that the operators not only can pivot, but have that inner strength, have that resilience to really break through any barrier, any wall that is presented before them.
From MJBulls Media, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show. Today on Raising Cannabis Capital, we are continuing this year's Cannabis Investor series with another former guest, David Hess, the founder and president of Tress Capital. David, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Dan. Excited to be here.
I'm really happy to have you back, and there's so much that I want to talk to you about today, but with our limited time, I'm going to have to skim through some of the things about your journey to cannabis that we covered in the last time you were here. So I'm going to encourage our listeners to go back and listen to episode 159 to learn more about David. But for today, there is one thing that is always really relevant, and that's that you're a two-time cancer survivor. And that experience really led you to this path and is a foundation for your investment thesis. Let's start here. What advantages have you gained from being a cancer survivor?
So I always talk about the number one character trait, the number one quality that we look for in operators is resilience, that grit, right? Because as an entrepreneur, and I am a lifelong entrepreneur, and it's so important to be able to have that inner strength, that resilience. Every day there are going to be challenges, and they come out when you least expect them. As a cancer survivor, that's truly what I've learned the most out of my experience with cancer, is how truly resilient I am and the grit that is within me to keep going and to never give up, because it's easy for an entrepreneur when things get tough just to move on to the next project. And as investors and shareholders on the cap table, we need to be confident that the operators not only can pivot, but have that inner strength, have that resilience to really break through any barrier, any wall that is presented before them. And so out of all my silver linings that I experienced through cancer and being a cancer survivor, it's 100% the resilience that I've been able to take from that.
You mentioned that you're an entrepreneur, and I think every entrepreneur thinks they're an investor, and I think every investor thinks they're an entrepreneur, but they are not the same. We are wired differently. And Over the years, I've had a number of conversations with you and your partner, Asher, and I've always come away feeling that I'm speaking to another entrepreneur, not an investor. Has anyone ever said that to you before?
All the time. And when asked what are the unique differentiators between Tress and some of our colleagues as investors and investment management firms that focus specifically and strictly on cannabis, is that not only do I have that past as a cancer survivor and really see things through the lenses of a medical cannabis patient, because as your audience will hear from episode 159, that's really what drives my passion in the cannabis industry, is the fact that cannabis really did help me get through my treatments and enabled me to really thrive today. But not only do I see things through the eyes of a medical cannabis patient, I see things through the lenses of an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. And so I can at times support and guide the operators and share my experience with them as well. And all my failures, and there have been many. If any entrepreneur says that they've never failed in life, they're not a true entrepreneur. And so through all my failures in life, I've chosen to learn from those failures and ensure that next go around I do it that much better. And so I've really been able to help a lot of operators inside and outside of our portfolio in sharing those experiences as an entrepreneur. And it really helps us relate to them.
Yeah, and speaking of COVID, I'm glad you just teed this one right up for me, but a lot of the companies took the hunker down, let's ride this thing out strategy, but not you guys. I see you on virtual events everywhere. Do you think companies right now should be following your example and trying to gobble up market share?
Now's the time, whether it's because there are a lot of distressed opportunities out there or because there are a lot of collaboration opportunities, M&A and other type of collaboration opportunities. Whenever there's chaos, there's all types of opportunities that stem from that chaos, but it's really important to work with a company like Tress, and really that's truly why I've been spending so much time educating investors really since COVID really picked up, because there's so much chaos and it's important to take advantage of the opportunity, but to do wisely.
I want to take a quick break to tell you about one of our sponsors, Cream of the Crop, and their unique approach to building their cannabis business. This is a company that's growing at 10% month over month year to date. They're the 5th best-selling indoor flower brand in California, and unlike most cannabis companies, they're profitable. They're achieving this incredible success through securing the supply for their brands by helping cultivators turn higher profits. They bring 30 plus years of cultivation experience, award-winning genetics, proprietary SOPs, and their own special formulated nutrients to drive higher yields, better quality, at lower costs. And now they're expanding their highly scalable, very unique model beyond California. If you're looking to invest in the space, Cream of the Crop is definitely one to watch because they're on fire. Plus, the timing is good because they're doing a capital round in early 2021 to take their brand national. Also, if you're a cultivation business and you want to grow your profits, you really need to talk to these guys. They just increased the profits for one of their clients by $700,000 per month. Just incredible. And they're accepting applications for 2021 and 2022 partnerships across the country. So reach out now to creamofthecropgardens.com. That's creamofthecropgardens.com. You brought something up that I haven't heard before, but I think it's a really good point, is that, yeah, you want to make an investment that's going to bring you a nice return, but you also want to feel good about that investment. And I think that's what cannabis brings to the table, is that there's a real sense of pride in investing in a company that's doing good. Is that what you're talking about when you're talking about impact companies?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of cultivation talk about sustainability, but the real question becomes, how are they validating? How are they measuring that data? How are they proving that they are in fact sustainable? And it's not just the cultivations, right? The amount of waste, be it packaging or other types of waste we see in the industry as well, it needs quite a bit of attention, and is starting to get that attention. Social equity programs, when it comes to licenses, we're hearing a lot about that right now. And as new states open up, that's certainly one area that they look at and consider very much is the social equity programs. This industry truly is an impact industry, and it's important to really share the story to the shareholders and to the investment community at large that of all the true impact and the true ESG advancements that we're making, there are so many like-minded investors and operators, entrepreneurs that talk about sustainability, that talk about ESG. But what's exciting is we can measure that. And we're working with some great companies. We'll be making some announcements shortly on a new fund that we're putting out as well that is going to focus on those impact investments. And what we're going to actually do is tie in the tranched allocations to the measured data. And for those that aren't used to measuring their impact, this will help train them and incentivize them to do that. And again, it will just further offer the credibility and legitimacy that our industry warrants.
Man, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff. And I'm sure a lot of the people that are listening right now will want to know more about it. I'll have a link to Tress Capital and David in the show notes. So if you want to continue this conversation and learn more about Tress Capital, just go to the show notes or go to mjbulls.com. David, always good catching up. I wish we had more time. Great talking to you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for all that you're doing. I am a big fan of not only MJ Bulls, but all the podcasts that you've been putting forward. And I thank you for what you do every day for our industry. It's an industry that I've believed in for really all my life, as long as I can remember. And I'm just thrilled that you're able to educate and normalize our industry for your audience members globally, really. And I look forward to speaking with everybody. Please reach out, and I look forward to connecting with you.
Crappy's Feel Better Company is a cannabinoid CPG company with a line of easy-to-use CBG, CBD, and CBN products built for the weekend warriors, the weekday Zoomers, and anyone in between. Crappy's next-gen products incorporate pharmaceutical-derived chemistry to precisely blend minor cannabinoids and terpenes, creating a series of proprietary formulas for hyper-targeted use cases. Harnessing a team of experts with over 75 combined years of chemistry experience, the company relies on its novel solubility technology, state-of-the-art delivery, consistent results, and unique eye-catching branding to stand out from the crowd. Crappy's executive team and chemists have created a vast and diverse product pipeline to maintain relevance in a saturated market. To find out how you can participate in Crappy's Feel Better expansion, which includes major retail placements, university-executed clinical trials, IP and patent submissions, GMP and API scale-up, and international distribution, go to crappysfeelbetter.com or on Instagram at crappysfeelbetter. Today's show was made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, like Alt36, the country's premier blockchain payment processing platform that's providing dispensaries and its customers with a safe and secure payment option other than cash. To learn more, go to alt36.com.